Hey, what's going on there, guys? So, just a little update on what I've been up to. This is my stepson's car, and I'm working on it. We got this car for him so that he could have a little back and forth car for college, and I didn't really get a look at it, but it's in pretty good shape. It's a 1999 Honda Civic, a nice car. I learned a lot of what I know on working on these cars, and also helping my dad with cars in the 80s, 1980s, watching my uncle work on cars in the 1980s and such, in 1990s when I had my cars, which was I had a 95 Mazda Protege, which was this same setup where you have your distributor with a distributor cap, that sort of setup, and going into the spark plugs. Four cylinder. The Mazda was a double overhead cam, so you had two of these running gears over here and two cams running through, where this is a Honda Civic EX 1.6 liter, and this is a single overhead cam, so you only have one cam running through here. Really nice car though, very good on gas, very efficient. It's just that you just got to keep it tuned up. It has shut off on him, and he was on the side of the road, and I actually put full coverage on his car, even though it's an older car, right? It's a 1999, so you'd be like, why would you put full coverage on a car that's a 1999? Well, just in case if he got stuck on the road, I've got tow. If he gets into an accident, we have coverage, so we do get something back, some kind of money back, right? And it is what it is. Difference between full coverage on this and liability was maybe like $70. He's 18, so it's gonna cost a little bit to have a youngster on there. But it is what it is. And better off to do it the right way than the wrong way and have them wanting you to pay later. Anyway, so it has shut off on him, and it was the coil, which is located inside here. And he was on the side of the road, and we had a tow truck coming, and really nice of a guy. He stopped to, hey, what's going on? And he told him, I don't know, shut off. It wouldn't start. So the guy, I guess he tapped it a couple times, and then it fired up. So he was able to get it home, and he was like, yeah, it probably just needs a new coil. Sometimes they go bad, due to the heat from the motor and the exhaust and such like that. So yeah, man, that was really cool of him, to stop and help him out. So I went, and I could have ordered the parts off of eBay. Actually, believe it or not, you can order all of these parts: the wires, the cap, the rotor that's on the inside, the coil. I think will come separate though. But you can order all of that stuff, and it'll come with a filter for like less than $100. And I think it'll come with spark plugs. If I'm not mistaken, it comes with spark plugs too. But that's really cool, really nice, decent price. But I stopped by AutoZone, got it the next day just so he can have me get back and forth, and yeah, so when he brought it home on a break from school, I just looked it over, and I noticed my uncle was telling me that sometimes they leak from the cam seal, which is down back there behind that little doohickey. And sometimes, no, sorry, that's a crank seal. There's a crank seal behind there, and then cam seal that's behind here. And what that looks like this right here. So it just looks like this. It's just a little seal that's in there, right? It's just a little seal, and that keeps the oil from coming from that side on over to this side. So I ordered the kit. The kit comes with the timing belt, right, which wraps around here, goes down through there. There's a little pulley that goes right there. I gotta put it back on, and wraps around the crank, and that keeps the bottom half of your motor and the top half of your motor in sync. Otherwise, the motor's pretty clean. I just changed the oil. I just sprayed some seafoam all along here with the seafoam spray to let that kind of clean that off. I cleaned off the valve cover, which is over there. I just cleaned that off, and I put in the new water pump. I just put that in, which is this right here. This is the water pump. So I just put that in, new water pump. I had flushed it out with some vinegar, and water just to kind of flush it and clean the system out a little bit. It was a little rusty. I don't know why. It seemed like the person that had this car before took a lot of shortcuts. There was no thermostat in the car, and they bypassed the fan, which is a shortcut. And I was trying to figure out, why is it that this fan was always constantly running? And then when I looked, I noticed they bypassed the that sensor that kicks your fan on when the radiator fluid reaches a certain temperature, or the radiator does. So I went and put a thermostat in there, and then it kept leaking, and I realized that that little gasket is kind of hard to get a good seal. So once I ended up using a little bit of sealant and positioning it properly, ended up getting a decent seal on that. I got some new hoses, so new upper radiator hose and a lower hose. You know, your hoses are always important. Once you get over like 60,000-70,000, you need to start checking your hoses and just make sure that they're good. That hose breaks on you, you're stuck. You're not going anywhere. New motor mounts, because this motor mount is cracked. Look at that. You see that crack? You see that hairline crack? Look at that crack right there. See it? It's cracked. And then the mount for the bottom, right? There's a mount that goes here, engine mount that goes here. That was fully broken, so I had to put a new one on. And then yeah, it's just a few things to address. Whoever did work on it before really just took a lot of shortcuts, and I just can't stand that, man. I just can't stand when people don't want to put 100% into whatever work they're doing. You see that little hole right there? That's a dipstick hole. And whoever, I think there's supposed to be a grommet in there. I'm looking at spec sheets, and it looks like there's a grommet that's supposed to go in there. So I went and got one. I'm just not sure if they gave me the right one at Advance Auto, so I have to see. But the dipstick hole goes in. Once you put the covers back on, the dipstick hole goes in there and rests along here on the side, right? And then you put on the other covers, and then you put the dipstick in there, and that's how you check your oil, basically. So yeah, I mean, technically, in theory, if you had a siphon small enough to reach down in the dipstick, you could probably just siphon out all the old oil and add in new oil and change your filter and call it a day, right? If you really wanted to, you could do that. Yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to make sure that the car was really good, decent, and good running condition for him, you know, before you send him out on the road, because you really don't want to send your kid out and have some car that could break down on them or give them some kind of trouble, or, you know what I mean? Because that kind of sucks. Now you got to go pay a tow, and you got to pay some other mechanic to do something that you could have just did in the first place, right? So, you know, nice car though. Actually in pretty good condition. It just needed a little bit of care, you know. It's like, and it just seems like a lot of people just don't care. They want to take shortcuts instead of just taking the time to fix something the right way. You know, just take a few minutes and fix it the right way. Do it right the first time. How hard is that? It's not that hard. You know what? If you don't fix it right, then leave it apart until you get the knowledge or the know-how, or ask around and find somebody that can help you fix it properly. You know, these cars are this car only has 125,000 on it, man. It's 125, and interior is pretty clean. Look at the interior; it's pretty clean. I'm gonna shampoo it down. I got some tough stuff. I'll wipe it down and shampoo it, but it's clean, dude. The interior is nice and clean. It's pretty good, and it's got what is that? 127 on there, so not bad. And it's an EX model, so you get the moonroof. You know. So good condition. I'm just gonna do a little cleaning up to it. Suspension and everything looks good. Brakes are good. Rotors are good. Battery's good. That's over there. Battery's over there. Battery's good. But yeah, you know, just you know, you guys always see me working on stuff, and you know, I learned this as a kid. I've been doing it since I was a kid, so it just sticks with you, you know, and you just like, I don't know, you just gotta do it. When you do things, you try to do them to the best of your ability. You know, try and do it right. So, and just do it right and do it with a lot of appreciation. So, and it'll follow you all through life. All right. So let me get busy. The kids will be home soon, and I got to do a whole bunch of running around. I'm gonna put the tensioner on, which is right there. Got a new tensioner. Put that on and see if I can start getting it buttoned back up. Get the valve cover back on. Got a new gasket and it's on there. So yeah. The only odd thing for me is these things, right? These are like the valve cover bolts. Then you have this little cover here. I think they gave me new ones. All right. Let's see. My bench is always a mess because I'm using it like every day. All right. So yeah, they gave me. Yeah, I got new ones here. All right. See that? Yeah, I got new ones. Now, here's a weird thing. You have this little nub here, right? That little nub. Oh, God. You see it right there, that little nub. So I just got to figure out how is it I'm getting this over that. But I'm guessing I can just push it straight down somehow, some way, and get it to come off. It's a very hard rubber, though. So, yeah. I'll work on that. That's the one thing I got to figure out, just to get that said and done. Yeah, just looking to get it back in running condition. I hope you guys have been good. I'll be trying to get the bike out when I get a chance. I don't know. Trying to get this done, and I got to finish gutting the bathroom. So I got a lot to do. But I would love to try and get a vlog out for you guys, just to entertain. I love to entertain, man. That's just what it is, you know. I love to entertain, and I don't know, for those that do find it entertaining, I try to find different ways to entertain and just have fun. So I gotta spray this down with some Simple Green and wipe it down. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for checking out my son's car here. It looks like he can adjust the valves too. It's kind of similar to the V-Star 1300. It has those same little tap it with the little lock screw. You unlock this. Well, I think you gotta do top dead center. Probably put each one in top dead center, and then undo. You gotta shim and check the space. If it's too much, you unlock this and you turn this a little bit till the shim just touches where would be in between here, till that shim touches right in there. Right in here, you put the shim right in there. Make sure that when each cylinder, I think you gotta turn each cylinder till it's, or maybe I turn I'd have to read the procedure for this, but I'm just guessing probably you're just gonna have to turn maybe to 1 and 4 is top dead center, and then I guess you're supposed to have a certain amount of space. But I'd have to read the procedure. There should be a small gap in between there, which you'll stick your feeler gauge in between here, right? There'll be a small gap, and you should be able to check. And if the gap is a little too big, you would loosen this nut, turn this a little bit onto the feeler, check it again, and if it's good, you tighten it down. You gotta hold and tighten. So yeah, that's how that usually. I never really touch those, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go through the trouble of checking it on this car and see it. But I'm almost willing to bet they probably would be all right, you know. So all right. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.